Tuesday, March 11th. It's been a hot minute, and I've been, because I have stuff, little video clips to put together, not every day by any means, but I'm having trouble getting them all together, so that still hasn't posted yet either. I'm going to get the hang of it eventually, but until then, we'll just have to be patient. It's about 9 o'clock at night. We got home about 30 minutes ago, and I eat dinner, and I thought, you know what, I'll come out here and do this. I forgot to take my glasses off again that are for the office, they're like for close and computer stuff, not my regular glasses. They don't have the distance vision in them, but they have blue blockers, which makes everything look purple and blue in the reflections. So, whatever. I didn't ask for it. It's just what they gave us because we were getting glasses to deal with the computer. I have been busy. I have been stitching. It's been over a week since I recorded the clip for the last time. So I guess I just have this can be like, oh, hey, here's what happened last week, like they used to be. It's all too much. And because I decided to just run out here and do this, nothing's out of the bags. I apologize for that too. It is tax season, so it's crazy time in my world. We did babysit Ryan last week on Saturday. Addison got a promotion at work, and so Jacob took her out to celebrate, and we went and played with Ryan pretty hard. He's so cute. He's figured out how to open drawers and stuff, and Dax was sitting in front of the drawers that are on the little thing that goes beside the crib, and Ryan wanted to open the drawers, and Dax was in the way, so he put his hand on his shoulder and like pushed on him and gave him the evil eye. It was pretty funny. I was looking for a picture. She sends pictures pretty much, but here's one of him. He's he won't let go and walk, but he's walking all over the place as long as he's got something to hold on to. And he gives you that face where he knows he's not supposed to be doing whatever it is he's doing, but he's doing it anyway. But we had a lot of fun. He was very happy, and we did a lot of playing. So it was probably better for us than it was for him. Okay, I worked on Friendship Quilts by Paula Vaughn. On the list of 20, yada, yada, yada. Y'all know how that goes. And here is where we are in this one. I've worked more on this quilt over here. I've done some more of the back stitching over here. I got the red on the flowers down here. There's just a tiny bit of back stitching that makes the stems on. Actually, I think it's only on that one flower that looks like it's floating. But just trying to, I don't want to leave all that back stitching till the end, so I'm just trying to do a little bit of back stitching each time I pick it up. Some days I have much more time to work on it than others, as we all do. This is another one that's on my list of 20, because aren't they all? Try to get this out of here because it'll be all glary if I don't. This one is a kit that I got at Hobby Lobby, but it is stamped cross stitch. It's going to be the death of me, I'm telling you. The wind has been blowing around here over the weekend. It was really bad, and so now I can't quit sneezing all day, It's been a joy and a pleasure. If I can breathe out of my nose, then I start sneezing, so that's no good. Anyway, it's stamped cross stitch, and I don't know why I have such a problem with this, but I get lost so easily on where I'm going, and it's very slow because I'm trying to get the beginning and ending of the X's as close to each other as possible. There's a little bit up at the top up here, but then this flower will be finished. They'll be outline stitched. I guess it's not a back stitch on this. I don't know. I guess it depends on how I do it. Because God forbid I read the instructions and see how you're supposed to. We know that's not going to happen. But because I'm trying to get those all close together, it's going very slowly. Like my usual stitching just speeds right along or something. I worked on Ukrainian ornament. This was a freebie. If you're interested, I'll put the website in the... If you're interested, ask, and I'll tell you what it is. Also on the list of 20. And here we are. But to be fair, I started this one 3 or 4 times. So I'm almost halfway done. I think there's another red flower here, or part of one, and a little bit more of the black, but I'm getting close to the halfway point. So if we go by past time, it should only take me like another 5 years to finish. I don't know which stack I'm supposed to be picking up from over here. I worked on this Be Mine little vintage Valentine. And I felt like I made some pretty decent progress when I picked it up and worked on it. I got his face pretty well stitched in. Got a couple of colors going here in the heart. And this is like part of his bow tie. So, and I think I've got her, because there was part of her hair up there at the top that wasn't filled in. It wasn't finished where the page break is. And I think I've got that done where I can go in now and finish back stitching in her hair and on the bow and stuff. At least get some of that done. I have to tell y'all what happened to Dax. It was on Saturday when he went to the gym to work out on Saturday morning. And usually there's nobody in there, but of course this time the gym was packed. Okay, it wasn't packed. There were like 4 or 5 men and 2 or 3 women in there working out. And I have to compose myself because when Dax was telling me, and he tells the story much better, I won't do it justice, but I laughed until I cried, which he didn't think was very nice of me. But he's at the gym. It's 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember. But he's running he's on the treadmill warming up before he goes to lift weights. And he's been on the treadmill for 5 minutes or so. And he's usually on it for like 30 minutes. And he's been on it for 5 minutes or so. And he feels something like touch the back of his calf. And he just keeps going, and he just reaches down and rubs his leg, just, kind of like to swat anything that might have landed on him if it was a bug or something. And he just keeps on the treadmill for the rest of his time. And when his time is up, he gets off the treadmill, and he's not actually looking to see if what it was. He just noticed on the ground at the back of the treadmill is a pair of black lacy panties, because my panties were static clung inside of his gym shorts, and they fell out while he was on the treadmill and rolled to the back. But then he was horrified because he's like, I can't pick these up. People think I'm some kind of pervert. And then he went over to work out, and some lady was walking by and stopped and saw noticed something, and she stopped and looked, and then she bent over to get a better look and see what it was. And then she like jumped back. Now he can't quit going, how many people saw this fall out of my shorts? When he went back on Sunday, he told me if they were there, he'd get them for me, but they were gone. So I don't know who has my panties. He didn't think I should laugh so much. But I thought that was pretty hysterical. And it usually doesn't work out on Mondays and Tuesdays because those days are more crowded at the gym for whatever reason. And so he hasn't been back, and I was washing his gym stuff, and I told him, oh, maybe this leopard spotted pair of panties will fall out next time. And he told me that now he's got PTSD and he's terrified of going back to the gym. I'm sorry, you may not think it's as funny as I do, but obviously it's cracking me up. I worked on Santa's Magic. I think that's Mirabilia. Also in the list of 20. I know you don't need to see the whole thing all opened up, but there we go. So here is where we are on it. This time I put in some of this up here, and then I was working on this Krynic, and I counted off what's supposed to be this one stitch right here to get this stuff in the right place to start it. Well, that one stitch was in the wrong spot, so I wound up right here and right here having to pull that out. And then I had to, you can't pull out Krynic. I had to, well, I guess you could, but I wasn't going to. So I cut it and then pulled it out. Once again, the scissors that Colbin sent me are coming in far too usefully. So I'm going to say it's her fault that I'm having all these troubles and having to rip things out and put those scissors to good use. It's just not right, folks. I did make this little project bag. I had already had it mostly made, and then I had I'd put in one side of the zipper and I'd put in the other side, but I had it twisted. So I took it apart and then fixed it. It should have been a little quick thing. It's from a table runner. But when I pulled my sewing machine, it usually sits at the back of the desk that my computer's sitting on right now. When I pulled it towards me, behind it, there is a bulletin board that's got all kinds of stuff on it. And I don't have thumbtacks out here, so I just use straight pins. And I managed to pull a bunch of stuff off the bulletin board when I pulled the sewing machine closer. And so I was putting everything back and using one of those straight pins, like this kind with the little plastic ball head. And I was pushing it in because it's cork board. It was a little bit harder to push it in. And the ball split in half, and the unsharp flat edge of the straight pin went straight into my finger here. So that set the sewing up to be a wonderful experience, as you can imagine. All I had to do was put in that one side of the zipper and 2 seams down the sides. It took like 30 minutes because I accidentally ran over the zipper enough in just the right spot to break the needle, and then it shoved things out of alignment, and I had to it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. I had been wanting to sew, and it kind of ruined it for me. But I got it made. I put this zipper pull on it, which was just a it was like for a pendant. I put the hook on it, but it was one that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby, I think. But I thought it was kind of cute. I was going to use it for a scissor fob, but then I'm like, but it's, you know, pretty Christmas related, so. And this is a new start. I know, because I need some more. It's from Madame Chantilly. What is it called? Hot Winter. And I started this one right here. And I just started it on, I had this package with little gray pieces. I was looking to see if it had an actual color, but they're kind of gray pieces. The 6x6, it should fit on there. I even used my calculator to do the math, so it should fit. And I don't need my needle falling off. Oh, that's just the thread. My needle's not on there. Anyway, here we go. That's how far I got. So, but I think it's going to show up pretty good on here. We'll see. I haven't decided if I want to cut them out, and I'm going to do them obviously individually. All of those aren't going to fit on that piece of fabric. I haven't decided if I want to cut them out in a sweater shape and use little tiny hangers instead of, because it's got the hanger. Yep, that's not going to show you anything. That's the pattern. At least I wasn't showing you the actual pattern. See, it has like the little hangers stitched on there. I don't know if you can tell. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to... We got plenty of time because we know that this goes to the back and it's not going to be an issue for a long, long time. I've done Solitude by Mystic Stitch. This is on my list of 20. I don't know if that one or The Porch is my oldest. I started them pretty close to the same time. So still haven't gotten that, you know, half page that was supposed to be finished in February done. So, but I'm getting closer. I'm filling it in. I'm trying. But then, you know, I always have these bright ideas, and my day always gets filled with something different. Like, I had to go meet some people at the coffee shop to discuss for what's being built across the street for the little airport thing. Actually, we were discussing lots of things about it. They've built the runway 25 feet away from a 48-inch natural gas pipeline. So, you know, if something were to go wrong, which I pray it doesn't, but if it did, it would be horrible. It would be a horrible thing for everyone around. And their response is always just, that would never happen, because of course money's involved, and I don't have enough of it to matter. So I worked on my Quilts for All Seasons. I worked on March last Friday. That's what it will look like. Anyway, we did that, and then we went over to the cigar lounge, and one of the guys that hangs out there had brisket that he was working on. He's going to be in a barbecue cook-off contest. I'm going to guess when the Austin Rodeo is getting ready to start, but he brought his trial run, his practice brisket up there. And sausage. It was sausage stuffed with cheese and wrapped in bacon. So that was all pretty good. No complaints. But by the time we got back home and cooked dinner, and I always leave stuff out, like on Friday morning. I'll leave this out like I'm going to come home on Friday night and come back out here, and it never happens. But I do it almost every day. Maybe this will be the day. Anyway, this is where I got to. The brown right here is all that was done when I got started. I'm just kind of trying to go like in an area and I guess just kind of work my way out. It really doesn't matter. I mean, there's a long way to go. It's not like you can tell that's anything. It doesn't matter. I still love it. I have to look because I don't know if that's everything or not. I think that's everything. I'm sorry for the sniffles. Okay. Oh, what did I do with it? I got this in my next, I'll try it like this because it'll be so noisy if I take it out. Here. Oh, no, that didn't work. See, this is why I don't do stuff. Let me try again. I don't know if that worked. I don't know if it stopped it or if you just had to listen to that. But if I ever figure out the whole editing thing any better, or I think my little thing's too full of videos right now so that it's going real slow. But anyway, and I'm not on the internet, so I don't know if I was with an internet connection like at the office that it would be better. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is... Good Lord, that still didn't work. This won't be as noisy as the other bag, though, I don't think. April, right? This is the April one. Okay. So you can work on it in March and have it done by April. I haven't finished January, so there we are. But that came in. They're all on the same fabric. Now, I'll put it in the bag with the other one, I guess. As I do that, when I finish one, I'll start the next one. And I ordered some 11 count fabric. I pulled out the burlap and it's just too big. But I found some 11 count Aida where I could buy a whole yard that was 59 inches wide. So that'll be big enough. I have enough room for doing the stocking. This one. But can you see how that's kind of tan? It's not... I've got it in one of my nice project bags. See, it's name brand. So I want to dye the fabric. It's just an 11 count white Aida. So it's in the kitchen because one of these days I'll actually dye it. In theory. Okay, I think that's all for now. I will hopefully, this won't be attached to the other video. Hopefully I'll get that done and this will get to be a whole new video and you'll be going, we've already seen it, Taryn, quit talking about it. But that's all I've got for now. And for you, I'll be back in a second. I hope it's not a whole nother week. But see you in a few. And we're back. It is Sunday, March 16th. It's not the next day, but it's not 2 weeks later either. So that's a plus. We're going to take what we can get. Yesterday, I was able to manage. I rode with Dax to the gym. And while he went and worked out, I sat in the car and played on the computer and figured out how to get all of the little video clips together and posted yesterday finally. So hopefully I can do a little better. Maybe during this tax season while we're working on Saturdays and I sit and wait for him while he's at the gym, I can get videos together maybe and post each week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. No promises. You know me better than that. Anyway, it is Sunday. It's not quite 1 o'clock. I've gotten most of my chores done. I mean, laundry, that just kind of takes how long it takes. But I I've been to the grocery store. I've got bread rising in the oven. I've swept and mopped the kitchen. Dax vacuumed for me. So it's all good. We're doing good. After I finish recording this, I'm going to go just hang out on my porch in the rocking chair for a little while until the kids all get here. And then I'll have to cook dinner, do dishes, and all of that. Anyway, I have stitched. I worked on this. I just call it the boat. It's called the dory. I don't actually remember where I got this, so. And I do believe that it has graduated to my list of 20. Surprise! Anyway, here we are. This time, mostly, I worked on blue sky. I want to get some of this done around the boat so I can start backstitching and making it look like a boat. But here we are. I guess I should put my needle minder down here in the water since it's a mermaid. So, I think that's the first time I've worked on that one this year. So for this past week, I touched 2 more of my projects that carried over into this year, that 160 something. Was it 163? I don't know. I don't remember how many it was. Out of Paula Vaughn's Quilts for All Season, I worked on the March quilt. Here we go. It's looking quite, it's so pretty. Mine is, I was going to say, it's looking quite lovely. That one is because it's finished. I had to do some unstitching. You can probably see right here where that used to be stitched because I was off. But this is the screen door. This is the top of the screen door on that side, which is like right up here. And so I've got, basically it's this part right here. Trying to do some of the easier stuff before I get into that quilt. But when I started March, I only had this little brown piece done, so I'm not angry. I'd have more done if I didn't have to rip it out, but that's how it goes. It is absolutely beautiful outside today. Don't be dissuaded by my allergies. There are big fires not far from us. Fredericksburg is about 45 minutes. It's just north of Fredericksburg. Close to 9,000 acres have been burned last time I checked. But this morning they finally had it 40% contained, which they had over 8,000 acres burned and they had it 0% contained. But it is out where there is not a lot of houses and things like that, out where mostly there are more just big ranches and things. Hopefully the wildlife and cattle and those things have been spared. Most of the time, if something like that is coming, they try to leave the gates open, but a lot of the gates have cattle guards. But the people who go out there to fight the fire try to push down a section of fence so that animals can get out. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. I haven't heard of any deaths or anything like that, which is good. And actually haven't heard of any houses being burned, but I don't really know. They're not like contacting me firsthand or anything. But last night when we got home, the smell from the smoke was here. It was strong. You could really smell it. And this morning, not so much. The wind isn't blowing as hard as it was yesterday. I'm sure that's part of it. And hopefully they're getting it contained, and that's also why we can't smell it. But smoke is my enemy, big time when it comes to allergies. Tree pollen seem to do me in, and smoke. So I'm guessing this is just never going away anytime soon. But I'd rather have allergies than somebody's house being on fire or their property or anything else. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I also worked on From Homespun Elegance, delivering floors. This is actually not on my list of 20. But I have finished the stitching on it. I need 3 buttons, one here, here, and here. I own about 500,000 buttons, and of course didn't like any of the ones I have. So on the pattern, the ones they use are like little flowers. And so I guess I need to order some flower buttons. I had some, but I have some that are flowers, and I just didn't like them. I didn't have any tiny white ones. I had different colors, and they weren't doing it for me. So as soon as those flowers come in, I'll sew them on here, and it will be done. But the stitching is done on it, so I'm pretty happy about that. And that is all. I worked on the Solitude piece this morning, but it's not enough to make it worth even showing it. Maybe I'll show it again once I get that page finished, whenever that might be. But for now, I think that's all. Trying to think if there's anything big and exciting going on. I don't think so. Ryan's going to come see me. He'll see me as he moves around me to get to Dax, but at least I'll get to see him. But I think that's all we've got going on right now. So I guess I will catch you the next time, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. Alrighty, back in a second. Okay, y'all, it is Tuesday. I have to look at the calendar. March 18th. We just got home. It's like, I don't know, it's after 10 o'clock sometime. Yeah, we just got home from the office, so I came out here to do this because I'm really trying to be better. So this isn't going to be long, this clip, but at least I came out and did it. So yesterday, I think I recorded on Sunday morning last time. So I'm just going to show you yesterday and today. I worked on Be Mine. And here we are. I felt pretty good about that. I got the rest of her hair finished down here, and this is part of the bow on her dress, and then this is part of his jacket that he's got on. So it's coming along. At least I can see the progress. The ones that you work on it and you can't see the progress drive me crazy. Sorry, zipper. This morning. It's been a long day. I worked on Days of Gold, which is this one. On my list of 20. That one isn't. Thank goodness. Something isn't. And here's where we are, obviously. This morning I got all of this there in the middle of this. It's like a quilt square. I got that done, and then I continued on with blue stitching over here, just filling in over in there. And it doesn't, I'm doing this 1/1 on 28 count. And I look at that little right there, and it doesn't look like that I did that much, not you. But that's like 120 stitches right there. So then adding to it and everything, it's really nothing to sneeze at, but for the time I have in the morning. But when you look at it like that, if you do it on a larger count, it looks like something, but 1 over 1 on 28. Looks like nothing. And then I decided, in order to get some progress, because I got a notice today that the April, one of these, what is this series called? Sweet Stitching Club. I got a notice this evening that the April is in the mail, and I haven't finished March, but I decided, and I started today, I'm going to do 25 a day on these so that I can at least move them forward. So, did I do that today? No, I started that yesterday. And got his head all done yesterday, and then today I did the little green through here, and this is the legs on this white one up here. But I decided at least that way. I'm working on it every day, but not making a huge commitment. And I'm not even doing 25 minutes. I'm doing 25 stitches because eventually it'll get us there, right? Okay, that's all. I am tired. Long day at work. Crunching numbers. But like I said, I'm really, really, really trying to make sure that I'm recording more than once a week. Obviously, it's not every day, but I made myself come out here tonight. Like, we just walked in the door and I walked out here to get this done. Because I knew if I went and put on my pajamas, or if I went and got even close to putting on my pajamas, I wouldn't come record. So, I make no promises about tomorrow, but I will try to keep up with at least every couple days and not just once a week. All right, back in a second. Okay, y'all, it's Friday morning. We're getting ready to head into the office, but I wanted to do this real quick before we go. So, of course, I don't have anything ready. Things are falling. I said that this one I was working on for my, doing 25/7 on it to try to get some progress. March Sweet Stitching Club from Pine Mountain. You order it on pine needles, I think. But since last time I've worked on this little sheep's body. So, it's coming along. It is coming along. I worked on this Hello Lovely kit. Sorry, it's getting all the glare. It's a little bit better. It is a stamped cross stitch, which I'm not necessarily loving, but here we are. Let's see if this makes a difference. So this time I finished up the stitching on this flower, and as you can see, I started some of the back stitching and then came down here and worked on that orange one. I have trouble, it seems, keeping up with where the X's cross on stamped cross stitch. I don't know why it's giving me such a problem, but it is. Yesterday I worked on, believe, from Mill Hill. I'm doing mine on fabric, not perforated paper. Here is where I am. I am dangerously close to the edge on both sides. I think this is about as far as it comes out over here, but I counted wrong here, and all of this is counted off of here. I should have skipped a row right here, and I didn't. So all of this blue has to come out. I pulled out a bunch of it up here yesterday and got tired of doing that, so came over here and did some stitching in this area, but that still all has to come out, which is no fun. And I don't know how it is everywhere else. It is outside right now in the 30s. It will be close to 80 this afternoon. But it was like day before yesterday, 90. It's killing me. This weather is killing me. Okay, and lastly, this morning, out of Paula Von Quilts for All Seasons, I worked on March, and that is this one. I just love her stuff. Obviously, I stitched so much of it. And here is where we are on it. Still working on the doors. The green is screen door, and then the regular door behind it. And then I decided today, I came down and just put in a little bit of stuff on the quilt. It's really hard to decide on a place to start because it is confetti heavy. It's a Paula Von, of course it is. I mean, even like right here in this little part right there, that's 2 different shades of the teal color and 3 different shades of brown. She's a color nut. And that's all I've worked on. I ordered some fabric yesterday off of 123 Stitch. I don't need it at all, but I got an email with like new fabrics, and I don't know why. One of them, I was like, oh, I really like that. I'm going to go buy it. And because I was already there, I might as well buy another piece of fabric too. So, I'm doing quite poorly on my Stitch from Stash this year. I haven't kept track of it. It's one of the ways I'm doing poorly on it. But I am way outspending anything I'm finishing because I'm not finishing much. Anyway, that's it for today. I doubt I'll record tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'll try to take, I think there's only 3 little clips, and put them together while Dax is at the gym. I'll sit in the car and do that, and maybe get this uploaded tomorrow. So, with that said, I guess thank you all for your comments on the last video. I do appreciate them. I've got to get better before I get to work at being able to speak. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I appreciate you all more than words can say, especially since I don't get the words out that often. I am terrible about commenting, but I'm trying to be better about this, and one thing at a time. So anyway, all of that to say thank you. Now I got to go finish drying my hair before it is time to leave. So thanks, y'all. Bye.